When you think of zombie games, do you think of a game where you're stranded on an island and you have nothing to do except survive? When you think of zombie games, do you think of having to customize your own weapons for survival? When you think about zombie games, do you think of a leveling system or, well, anything at all? Or do you just think point and shoot? Well, not all zombie games are simply point and shoot. For example, in Dead Island you have to throw, customize, pick up, and drop loot, manage your inventory. Well, not your inventory, but your arsenal of manly weapons that you shall carry out on your adventure through the island. Because let me tell you, this place is freaking huge. The bodies have multiple layers of flesh which you can rip through with pretty much every weapon there is. And some things are just others. Dead Island is a game based on a fictional island called Banoi, apparently near in this, well, not near, but apparently in the South Pacific Ocean. As you can see, by holding certain buttons, you can throw your weapon. Thus, if you don't have a gun, you can still take them out from afar. But don't let that mess you up, okay? Dead Island requires skill, which, believe it or not a lot of people have. I'm not saying if you're watching this that you don't have skill, but Dead Island requires a lot. Because as you can see, zombies do a lot of damage. And there's different ones as you go on. For example, you're not just going to encounter the, smack in the face 8 times and we'll die zombies. No. You'll be encountering ones that can spit acid, ram at you, run at you, and you also encounter ones that have far more health than others. Far more speed, far more damage. Ones that can knock you down with a single kick. You don't really think of that when you think of video games, do you? But you do when you think of Dead Island. In Dead Island, there are 4 characters to choose from. Each have 4 characters to choose from. Each having their own special profession or weapons. Sam B, the rap star, is basically the tank. He has the most health. But the lowest stamina. And he's good with blunt weapons, so weapons that aren't sharp, he's good with sledgehammers, for example. There is Exine, who is good with sharp weapons. Now, just because she's good with sharp weapons doesn't mean you can't use blunts. No, you can still use blunts, but they won't be as effective as using sharps. Logan is very skilled at throwing his weapons, using them at a distance to kill his enemies. It doesn't mean you have to, but it's kind of better if you do. And last but not least, my favorite character, the one I'm playing as, Perna. She is the specialist with guns, which means everything in her skill tree, or mostly everything, revolves around guns. For example, being able to loot more ammo from zombies, or being able to having a higher chance of finding guns, or even having a higher chance of finding rare weapons. However, there are reasons that you shouldn't play Dead Island. For example, the online community has found ways to make weapons that don't exactly make sense. For example, things like explosive AK-47. Normally those aren't in the game, but due to USBs and computers, they are. So that's one thing you gotta watch out for. If someone offers you a hacked weapon, yeah, sure, take it, I don't care. But it does make the game a little too easy. When you play Dead Island, you're going to notice that there's a lot of gore, which just makes it more awesome. The graphics are fantastic, the DLC is just perfect, and the storyline really keeps you wondering. But Dead Island is one of those games, definitely is one of those games that you're going to want to play. So, if you feel like you shouldn't get Dead Island, you're wrong! You should get it. It's freaking fun. I admit I'm not the best player out there, but you probably aren't either. Because if you're looking at this, you probably don't even have the game. But, yeah, you know what I'm saying. Which you probably don't. For example, the first special infected we're coming in contact to, right now, not in order, is the Floater. No, he's not a poop. He's that. Basically his only attack is to vomit. He's fat, and no one likes him. Ow. 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 As you can see, it's really hard because the infected act like brick walls and can corner you in many areas. So, this isn't mainly Dead Island. Dead Island isn't an arena game or anything. This is DLC for Dead Island. The main game is based on a tropical island of Banoi, where you're stuck on a resort. You get stuck on a resort, in a city, in a jungle, and at a prison. Don't let the prison part fool you. Prison is like the hardest part of the game, by far. There are also weapons that will make you go, oh my god, such as the chainsaw, which has a 100% chance to cut off any limb it comes in contact to. For example, if you come into contact with runners, pull out your chainsaw, they run at you, their heads are gone. This has been Talking About Dead Island with your famous Richard Mallon. Pieces.